Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Pullen for Algebra 2 this is from that 25 skill packet, and I am making a video solution of example 17 on tree graphing. On a set of axes below, graph one cycle of cosine function with an amplitude of 3, a period of pi over 2, a midline of y equals -1 that passes through the point 0, 2. So first, it's helpful to write out the equation, and the general equation would be a cosine b of x plus d, and this assumes there's no horizontal shift, which there isn't in this case. Our amplitude is stated, it's 3. We have to figure out the frequency, but we know d, our vertical shift, is actually the midline, so it's -1. So how do we figure out the frequency? Well, the frequency is 2 pi over the period, and so that's going to be 2 pi over 2. And we can simplify that. If you don't know how to do it another way, just use good old-fashioned middle school math. Keep change. So we're going to change that. We're going to change that division to a multiplication and take the reciprocal of the denominator. When we do that, that simplifies to 4, and we see we have a frequency of 4. So that's our equation. So to actually graph, we already have our amplitude. We can calculate our maximum value of the function by taking the amplitude plus the vertical shift. So that's 3 minus 1, or 2. Our midline, we know, is -1. Our minimum value is the negative of the amplitude plus the vertical shift. So it's -3 minus 1, or -4. We have our period, but we need, well, before we do that, let's get our pattern. So our pattern for cosine is max, mid, min, mid, max. And you may be a little concerned about what does it mean 0, 2. It means that the start of the graph is going to be at that point. I probably should do that in a different color. Hold on. I'm going to label my x-axis, so that's 2, 4, and that's -2, -4. I'll label the x-axis in a minute. I just wanted to graph that one point. Here's 0, 2. So we're going to actually start at that point. So we're starting above. So we're actually starting at the max. So it's 2, -1, -4, -1, 2. That's the pattern we're going to graph. That's the pattern we're going to graph. And so now let me just label the x-axis, and we're going to, well, I need the spacing, and the spacing is going to be period divided by 4. So it's going to be, the period again is pi over 2 divided by 4, which is pi over 8. So we're going to count by pi over 8. And since we only have to graph one cycle, I can spread this out a bit and have every 2 box equal a critical point. So pi over 8, 2 pi over 8 reduces to pi over 4, 3 pi over 8, and 4 pi over 8 reduces to pi over 2. So we're only going to have to graph one cycle. The other thing that's a good idea to graph is the vertical shift, and the vertical shift is y equals -1. I'm doing that in green. And now we're about to graph. So the pattern is 2, -1, -4, -1 and back to 2. We make a nice smooth curve and we label with the original equation. And there you have it.